Welcome back to WFMJ Community Connection. Mark Wagner from American Atlantic is back today, and he brought someone with him, Mark Jacoby, and he's going to share information with us on something that everyone needs. What does everyone need, sir?
Insurance.
All right, tell us all about it.
Well, everyone needs insurance for those calamities that take place. They may or may not happen. As a matter of fact, you don't need insurance until you do. And so everyone always thinks insurance is going to cover everything that's there. There is kind of people are naive about the simple aspect that it's like, I've got an insurance policy and it may only cover one peril like fire, but then they have other damages and they just innocently think it's going to pay, and it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
so we want to talk about that so that you have good coverage. And so obviously in my book, Building Financial Fences, we talk about your medical care, we talk about your wills and trust, we also talk about retirement planning and property and casualty. So if any of those, we talk about your cash cow keeping in your fence, but what happens if all of a sudden you don't have the right kind of medical coverage? Where does that money come from? What happens if your house catches on fire and you don't have the right kind of coverage? Where does that money come from? It comes all out of your retirement account. So I want to help people save their money, so it doesn't matter how you lose it or we just want to make sure you keep it. So today we want to talk about the insurance aspect and the public adjusting, how those two tie in together.
Okay. Well, is Jeannie, you're Jeannie Schumacher? Okay, she sent me some graphics, and I'm going to ask for, if I can, for the first one to come up, if I can, and it says, do you know, well, what's covered? I don't.
You know, we sit in people's homes at the kitchen table and we ask people to get, we do a free policy review, so everybody's invited for us to come out and go, find your policy. Most people don't know where the policy is. It takes a long time to find it. And then when they do, what's covered under it, they really don't know. And so that's kind of interesting, and we go through and talk about your coverages, and then there's a couple other questions in there as well.
Okay, we'll go to the next one. What is your deductible?
See, this one, if anybody knows any of the questions, they may know the deductible, but then if I ask them how many deductibles do you have?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Most people don't know. So do you have a wind deductible on top of your regular deductible? So those are things people don't know, and that's the first money out of pocket. So that's what you have to pay first.
Like, for instance, if I have $20,000 in damage, the first $1,000 I have to pay.
Correct.
That's the deductible.
Correct.
Okay. I still don't know it. I'm just going to be honest. I still don't know
it.
So
most people don't, and that's it's vital to know that information.
Just let my husband take care of it.
Well,
look, and I don't know if he knows anything either.
Okay? Probably doesn't.
All right. Okay. And the next one, sir. What if you find what information do you find valuable? Would you consider a referral?
Well, what we like to do is to come in, and I tell people that it's just a life
referral.
investigation. Because if I come to your home, we walk in, we do a free property inspection, look at your home, talk about things that's happened, look at your policy. There's nothing to buy. Put your checkbook up, and even though we have a department that sells the P&C, if you don't have the right coverage, call your agent. He's not going to be upset like, I need more coverage. But then what we'd like to do is let the world know that we're out there, and would you just give us a referral to go talk to your friends or neighbors about something before there's an event that takes place. It's better to be prepared.
So there's an adjuster portion.
Correct.
And that's where Mark Jacoby comes in.
So my job is to clarify exactly how you make a claim, why you should make a claim, when you should make a claim, what you're eligible for as far as a benefit under your policy. Most people don't understand even how they're covered. You're covered for perils. What is a peril?
Yeah.
Peril is fire. A peril is smoke. A peril is a car crashing into your building. Oh my goodness. You have crash and grabs that take place in this town. People drive trucks through convenience stores and then they take things. That's vehicle impact. It's covered under your policy, right? And so different levels of policies have different amounts of coverage of perils. So most homeowners, they have all risk policies.
What does that mean?
That means that anything that happens that's not excluded in your policy is covered under the policy. So Let's say you spilled nail polish all over your beautiful carpet that you got from Persia. That is covered under an all-risk policy, potentially. But you have to have coverage, a recoverable policy, and an all-risk policy for your contents as well, because that rug can be taken with you. And lots of times that's not covered. How about that?
How do we know? Well, how do you know? That's why I need someone like you.
Somebody needs to interpret that policy to let you know exactly how you're covered before you make a claim to your insurance company, because it's reported to and collected by LexisNexis under your comprehensive loss underwriters exchange. And all the underwriters look at your claim history to see what kind of risk you are.
So we can have insurance, but we wouldn't know what insurance we do have. I mean, you have it, but you really don't know what you've got.
Right, we tell people, it's like, you
Very
know who your
confusing.
doctor is, you know who your contractor is, and I just simply ask a question, who's your public adjuster? It's your first line of defense when you're going to file a claim. You don't want to call the insurance company first. You want to be able to find out, do I have a viable claim? What am I doing? Who's representing me? Because the things that I say matter.
We don't think about that once it has happened, though. We're in a state of flux. We're upset. We're stressed. We make bad decisions. So you're suggesting that we need to do this ahead of time.
Exactly, because one of the things that I find, and as an adjuster, and Mark is probably our best lead Ohio adjuster around, but there's a common thing that happens. I'd like to get his response. It's unsolicited, so let's just see what comes out. It's just fun conversation. But when I'm in a home and I'm talking to somebody because something happened, everybody's kind of used to the hail damage guys knocking on the door after a hail damage. But if we knocked on a door and said, hey, we're a public adjuster, we'd like to help you with your claim, everybody always says, I'm fine, until it's not. And then it's after the fact they've been talking and doing things. They try to handle the claim on their own. What's your experience with that?
Well, most people, and I think a fire is a good example. Most people that have a fire, they're immediately in shock. They've never experienced it before. You don't know what to do. And the first 24 to 48 hours is very important, because you're protecting yourself and the coverage that you're going to get from your insurance company.
That critical time.
Yes, do the wrong things, and it may impact your insurability, your benefit that you get. And people don't know the first step, believe it or not, after a fire is you need to talk to your doctor, your physician, and you need to get them to reissue your prescriptions. Otherwise, you're going to go off your medication. Nobody's thinking in those terms.
Well, I wouldn't have even thought of that.
We think about all these teeny details and the big picture for you, and we make sure that you're doing what's necessary, because the policy is really a contract of adherence. You have to do things. There are conditions and exclusions in a policy that you don't understand or have never read. It's great for insomnia. Read your policy.
Right. There's a section that's,
read your policy.
right.
Go
There's
ahead
a
and try
section
and
that
read it.
says your duties and responsibilities, and yet it's your responsibility, and it's not fine print, and yet people don't know what those things are. So that's interesting.
Well, I'm going to take a couple of more minutes here if I can, and I'm saying that more so for my director. You got a new book. Tell me about your new book.
Thank you. We have a new book out here. I was able to pen a few words in here about Tom Hegna. He's a national leading economist. So it's nice to be in the company of big people like that. And so don't worry, retire happy. And I did on the radio show not too far back, but there was a new statistic that came out that showed that people are living 2 to 5 years longer that have secured income, that it's not volatile due to market risk. So what we talk about is how to keep your money safe, so that today, if the market's trembling and falling, that you're not losing money. And people are like, hey, I'm ready to retire, but the market dropped, I don't have enough money. So what do I do? So we have solutions out there for everybody that are no market risk based products that you can have to keep your money safe. So as the book says, don't worry, retire happy. And it kind of piggybacks off the book, Building Financial Fences.
Awesome.
So
and
it's
you'll
a
be
brand new
back,
book.
right? You're going to come back for a 4th installment, right?
Right. And we're going to talk about because October 15th through December 7th is the Medicare season. So we're going to talk about healthcare, right? So we're going to talk about healthcare and how those decisions. Everybody likes the same policy and they want to stay with the same one, including my mom. When I had to wrestle her and say, Mom, sit down, it's not the same policy. Your medications are covered, this one's not covered. So let's make sure you're not taking money out of your retirement account because of not understanding your insurance policy, not understanding your insurance policy for your Medicare. Let's talk about those things to keep your money safe.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And, you know, it's great to have an award-winning, you know, person here to talk to me. I'm just so, listen, Mr. Wagner, Mark Wagner, I trust you and I appreciate all that you do. And I am even more thrilled that you brought Mr. Jacoby here as your wingman, your backup man. I love it. Well, Mr. Jacoby, thank you for joining me today and thank you for being with Mark.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.